What are free trade negotiations? Free trade negotiations refer to the discussions and agreements between countries or economic blocs with the aim of reducing barriers to trade and promoting economic integration. Now let's talk about what are the objective of any such free trade negotiations or its related agreements. The primary objective of these negotiations is to establish favorable conditions for the exchange of goods, services, and investments among participating nations. What are the agenda points that proceed to any such free trade negotiations agreements? During free trade negotiations, countries negotiate various aspects related to trade, such as tariff reductions or eliminations, removal of non-tariff barriers, harmonization of standards and regulations, intellectual property rights protection, market access for goods and services, investment rules, and dispute settlement mechanisms. The negotiations usually involve multiple rounds of talks, where negotiators from each country or bloc work towards reaching mutually beneficial agreements. What are some examples of free trade negotiations agreements? Free trade bilateral negotiations between two countries, such as the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement (USMCA), or multilaterally involving multiple countries, such as the negotiations conducted under the World Trade Organization (WTO). Regional trade agreements, like the European Union (EU), the Association of Southeast Asian Nations (ASEAN), or the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership (CPTPP). Overall, free trade negotiations play a significant role in shaping international trade relations, fostering economic cooperation, and promoting global prosperity. Moving to the editorial, which brings us to the core idea of Free Trade Agreement, FTA. As of my knowledge, in September 2021, India and the United Kingdom were engaged in negotiations for a potential Free Trade Agreement, FTA. The discussions were initiated after the UK formally left the European Union (EU) in January 2020. Both countries expressed interest in expanding trade relations and exploring opportunities for closer economic cooperation. Further, a Joint Economic and Trade Committee (JETCO) was established to oversee the negotiations and identify areas of mutual interest. The JETCO meetings aimed to address trade barriers, enhance market access, promote investment flows, and explore ways to deepen bilateral trade. The term Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity refers to a concept that emphasizes economic cooperation and development in the Indo-Pacific region. The Indo-Pacific region is a geopolitical concept that encompasses the countries and regions surrounding the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. It includes nations such as India, China, Japan, Australia, and countries in Southeast Asia. The concept of an economic framework for prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region could entail various initiatives and policies aimed at promoting economic growth, trade, investment, infrastructure development, and regional integration. These efforts may involve enhancing connectivity, fostering trade agreements, facilitating investment flows, promoting economic cooperation, and addressing common challenges such as sustainable development and infrastructure gaps. Now coming to the highlights of this editorial or gist. India and UK are in close negotiations over 5 chapters dealing with contentious issues such as digital trade, environment, and labor in ongoing FTA. Out of 26 chapters of FTA, 14 chapters discussed and remaining are underway. 9th June 2023 concluded 10th round talks for India-UK FTA. Current 11th round talks underway from 10 to 19th July. India-UK has differences on IPR, intellectual property rights, that are in process to iron out. The most complex India-UK FTA as it includes non-trade issues which is not yet signed with any other country. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal visited London from July 10 to 12 for FTA talks. India-Canada trade agreement is ninth round of talks is also underway till 21st July. In fifth round of talks of India-EU pact, modalities of exchange of market access offers in goods and government procurement discussed, finalized and agreed in principle. In IPF at Busan, India will participate. It was launched in May last year at Tokyo, has 14 partner countries viz. Australia, Brunei, Fiji, India, Indonesia, Japan, Republic of Korea, Malaysia, New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam and the US. It would be advisable to refer to official government statements, policy documents, or academic literature to gain a more detailed understanding of any specific proposal or framework associated with this concept.